What's up, world? This is your girl P. So, how to be balanced in situations, relationships, partnerships? How to be balanced? You know, is there an equal give and take? What do we mean by equal give and take? If I give you $50, you give me back $50? Is that what equal give and take is? That's not equal give and take. Balance is, if you look at a scale, balance is what you bring and this other person bring. No one is weighing each other down. When you have a scale and you look at the scale, and if the scale isn't balanced, then someone is not pulling their weight. Somebody is not doing their part. That makes the relationship unbalanced. And when a relationship is unbalanced, it puts a lot of weight on the person that's doing all the work. It's like that person is getting weighed down. And in order to balance a situation, a person has to do their part. And when people don't do their part, they sabotage relationships because they're taking. They may not realize that they're taking, or maybe they do realize they're taking. You know what I'm saying? But when you're taking from someone, you're being an energy vampire because you're taking energy from another person and you're pulling that person down and you're weighing them down, and you're light as a feather. You're up. That person has you up in the air, and you're weighing them down. They have all the load. And in order to balance the situation, it doesn't necessarily mean if that, I'm just using money as an example because a lot of people would like to focus on money, but relationships don't be balanced in just monetary. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if a person put in 50 and you put in 50, yeah, that's balanced. But what if that person doesn't have 50? Can that person bring something to balance the situation to make it fair? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the whole point of relationships. That's what God made relationships for. See, because when God saw Adam was doing the work. Adam was created first, and Adam was doing all the work, and he needed someone to help him. So God brought a feminine energy into his life to bring balance to him. She wasn't out there doing the work that he was doing, but she was balancing him out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing like with employers. You know what I'm saying? They have a company, and they pay you, and you do a job, and they balance it out with pay. But if you're doing a lot more work and they're not paying you more, then that makes the situation unbalanced. So how do we balance situations when we make relationships unbalanced? We bring balance back to that situation. And a lot of times, you don't necessarily, like, for instance, I'll use my situation that I recently shared, that I quit my job. Now my job could balance that situation out without me even returning back to that company, because I refuse to go back because I know my worth. And I already had that conversation with the employer about, I know my worth. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to go back to that situation, but you can't just leave it unbalanced, because here's the thing: what people fail to realize is that if you don't balance situations in 3D, God is going to balance it spiritually. And that's where, you know what I'm saying, karmic scales have to be balanced, and God will balance it. And however God balance it, that's where the vengeance is mine part come in at. You know what I'm saying? But if you balance the situation, you make it easier on yourself by balancing. Like, people can balance things out. Like, if you were, just say hypothetically, if you was a hothead back in the days, and you did a lot of bad stuff or whatever. I mean, you still gonna pay for what you did, but you can still balance it out by doing right by others. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people don't want to do that because why? I don't know. I don't know. But the reason why people can't get along is because there's no balance. People are draining other people and they don't want to give back. They just take. You know what I'm saying? And case in point, just something very, very simple. If a person sneezes, and if I sneeze and you tell me God bless me or bless me, and I don't say anything, I just made that unbalanced. You gave me energy, you know what I'm saying? You didn't have to say that to me, but you did. And because you did, how much is it going to hurt me to tell you thank you? But a lot of times people do the simplest things, the smallest things that people fail to realize it or fail to look at is that the smallest things like thank you goes a long way, because a person didn't even have to say that to you, but they did. And then a lot of times the people are like, well, I didn't ask them to bless me. Okay, but they did though. You know what I'm saying? Like all you got to do is say thank you. And what happened, and then the person that says bless you and says bless you to people and don't get and never gets a thank you back will end up turning to a person that will never say bless you. And the next person, they may not tell them bless them when they sneeze, and that person would have actually told them thank you. That's how other people miss their blessings, by you being the type of person you are, if this is the type of person you are. But I'm just saying, by you being that type of person, it causes another person to reap to unfortunately miss out on something because of you. When people do stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And when I say you, I don't mean you per se, whoever's listening, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not projecting. I'm just trying to give an insight as to how relationships end up being unbalanced. Is that, like, when it comes to husband and wife, like, if a husband was working all the time, and paying bills or whatever, that wife would be balanced. If that wife was cooking, cleaning, and doing all that, that wife would be balancing the relationship. She's not taking. But if she was sitting there just not doing nothing, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing, and he doing all the work, and she's doing nothing, that's an unbalanced relationship. That's an unhealthy relationship that turned into a karmic relationship, and that's karma. And the person that's getting done wrong is the person that's paying karma. And that's how karmic relationships end up being, is unbalanced, because the person that's suffering in the relationship is the one that's paying karma off. Some way, somehow, they paying karma off for something that may have happened in the bloodline somewhere down the line. And as long as you stay in that situation, then you're paying karma off. I said this in another video that I had, but I don't know why it's coming back up, because this is why relationships are unbalanced. And usually when relationships become unbalanced, it turns karmic. You could turn a beautiful situation into a karmic situation, which will be this person is paying off karma some way, somehow, for something somebody else did in the family bloodline, which basically means it's a generational curse that is being repeated some way, somehow. And in order for the curse to be broken, you have to stop the cycle. You know what I'm saying? But people don't see it like that. They just feel like, well, this is how relationships are, and it's okay to be unbalanced. Why would you feel like God would want anybody to be in a relationship where they're being treated wrong? God don't want that for nobody. Where would we get the idea that God wants us in situations like that? God wants us to be happy so that we can do his will. You will never do God's will if you're unhappy, because when you're happy and fulfilled, you will be glad. You'll be a happy servant of the Lord. You will be happy to do the work for him. But when you're miserable, you will sit there like a spiritual child in the energy of with your arms folded. But you may not have your arms folded, but that would be the energy that you're in, a stubborn energy. Well, I'm not doing nothing, because you're taking it out on God, that you in a relationship that you decided to be in that's unbalanced. And that's even like if I was sitting there and continue to go to my job, knowing that that job is being unbalanced. It's turned the job. When I first started working there, I loved the job because of the perks and stuff that I got. You know what I'm saying? It turned karmic because it kept getting unbalanced and unbalanced, and things kept happening over and over and over again, and I kept trying to make it work, make it work, make it work. But how, when it's a relationship between two, it takes two to have the relationship, so it also takes two to make it work. And if one person is trying to make it work and the other one is sitting on their hands, the relationship becomes unbalanced, that therefore it turns karmic. And now if you stay in that situation, you're just gonna keep paying karma off. So you're gonna keep paying karma off, and that's like you signing up for it. And you know what I'm saying? And when you stay in karmic situations, eventually, because people stay in karmic situations because they literally feel like this is how it is and I'm just gonna deal with it. Well, you're gonna be in a karmic situation for the rest of your life, because you, in order for you, if the other party is not willing to balance the situation out, and you, in order for you to not suffer no more, you have to love yourself. Self-love is the best love. But that's how relationships get unbalanced. And in order for them to be balanced, and a lot of times people don't want to balance them, they'll go ahead and turn what once was a beautiful situation into a karmic situation, and now the relationship is now karmic, and now you became a karmic to that person because you sabotage a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You sabotage a relationship. You made it unbalanced. You kept taking, and not giving. You wasn't being fair. You know what I'm saying? And that the whole point of us having relationships on this earth anyway is to be fair. Cause you can't, you're not meant to be alone. You wouldn't be able to do anything for God without another party. You can't even make a table without a screw. So a company could start a person could start a business making tables, but they always gonna need another person to do part of their work for them, whether that person works for the company or not. The person that owns a table company is going to have to go to get the wood. They gotta go to someone to get the screws. They gotta go to someone to get the bolts. They gotta go to another party to get something. We all play our role in this on this earth, and we need each other. But when we start taking and being greedy and don't want to balance situations, we sabotage what could have been beautiful. We turn it into a karmic situation, making it unbalanced. You up because you the person that's greedy is up, and the person that is doing all the work is down. And if the person that's taking don't balance the situation, God is just gonna break the whole situation up and balance it out for you, because you're gonna have to be fair. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. That's the whole point of relationships. You're relating and you're in a space together. So it makes it's like a relationship. You're in a space together. It's a partnership. How you gonna have a partnership if you being selfish and you're taking? You know what I'm saying? Would nobody want to work with you if you doing stuff like that? Because you're gonna set yourself. It's like you make a name for yourself that you a taker and you an energy vampire and you don't give. You just take. And just like I said, just common courtesy. When a person says bless you, you say thank you, because it's common courtesy. It's not hard for you to say that. You know what I'm saying? And that should not have to be anything that has to be taught to anyone. It's common courtesy. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't do stuff like that, how you make the person feel that's blessing you, they're being nice enough to just say thank you, bless you. You can't even say thank you, because that's a entitled mentality. I don't gotta say it. Nobody told you to say it to me. No, nobody didn't tell them to say it to you, but they did. And when you have attitudes like that and people work with you, nobody will want to work with you no more. You start making a bad name for yourself, and then nobody wanted to even deal with you. And that's why I'm saying, like, that's why relationships start turning karmic. It started out good. It started out on the right foot. Somebody got greedy along the way, made the relationship unbalanced, kept taking, The person is pouring until that person that's taking. When it's nothing left, now they out. You know what I'm saying? Or a person feel like you supposed to do something a certain way, and if you're not doing it that particular way, then it's like I'm out. No, you gotta have we gotta have integrity. We have to be fair. You know what I'm saying? We gotta follow the golden rule. We gotta treat people how we want to be treated. And a lot of times when we say we treat people how you want to be treated, people be showing you really how they want to be treated. They want to be dogged out because that's how they're doing you. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you don't balance the scales in the physical realm, then God is going to balance it spiritually. And you don't want to. I can tell you how those things happen, but I don't want to scare people or anything because that's not my intention. You know what I'm saying? But you got to pay for everything that you do. You can't just come and take unless somebody give it to you. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just be a taker. You have to balance the situations out. You know what I'm saying? And that will free your spirit up and it keep your spirit from going into a dark place because you going to be sitting there worrying about, you know what I'm saying? You don't want that kind of pressure on you. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that you sabotage relationships because you a taker. You know what I'm saying? When all you got to do is be fair. How hard is that? And the reason why I came up with this topic today is because I heard a person give a person a compliment and that person didn't even say thank you. That person didn't even say thank you. Got a compliment, didn't say thank you. And a lot of times, just like I always say, you have to be careful how you treat people because you could be entertaining an angel unaware. What that means is that that person could have been sent in your life as a blessing, and because you didn't even give them you didn't even give them that much just to say thank you, that you miss your own blessing because of that. And that's self-sabotage. you know so we have to come to an understanding. We have to start checking ourselves, and it's not that hard. It's holding yourself accountable, and practice makes, I'm not gonna say practice makes perfect, but it makes progress, and then progress makes perfect. You start practicing doing this and it becomes a habit, just like your bad behavior becomes a habit because you do it all the time. So when you start deciding to say, you know what, I want to be a better person, let me start trying to see if I can be kind. It don't cost you anything. You know what I'm saying? And out in all actuality, being kind will make you feel better. It feels good to be kind to a person. You know what I'm saying? And the person that's being kind, the person that says thank you, makes that it's balanced, because that person probably don't even want anything from you, but you just saying thank you goes a long way. You know what I'm saying? So I hope this message serves you well, and I holla though. One love. Peace.